we're going to protest the way we've been treated in this country as farmers.
They've seen the last government stop them being able to sell their produce into Europe, make it easier for Australian and New Zealand farmers to undercut.
In the last 24 hours, Labour has faced accusations of lying, betraying farmers, and even selling out British assets. But these aren't just political jabs. They're backed by shocking evidence. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now back to the video. We've got the inside scoop on Labour's internal chaos, including exclusive insights from Andrew Neil about their alleged plans to sell British interests to foreign buyers. Buckle up for a political exposé that will leave you questioning the very foundations of Britain's opposition party. Labour's United Front is crumbling, revealing deep cracks in the party's foundation.
See any further tax taken from them. That was really important, but we also set out as priorities, we are going to invest in our National Health Service.
The people that have bumped into us and realised why we're here, they've been like, oh, keep going, this is amazing, you know.
It's really good.
You can't let this happen to farming.
No, it's a shame, and it's hope.
Keir Starmer's leadership, once hailed as a breath of fresh air, now appears evasive and inconsistent. His tendency to dodge direct questions and offer vague platitudes has left many wondering, what does Labour truly stand for? Behind closed doors, reports of party discord are growing louder. While Starmer presents an image of unity to the public, insiders paint a different picture. Factions are forming, with some MPs openly questioning the direction of the party. This internal strife is eroding Labour's credibility just when they need it most. Starmer's actions have repeatedly contradicted Labour's stated principles, leaving supporters disillusioned. Take, for instance, his flip-flop on tax policy. After repeatedly assuring voters that Labour wouldn't raise taxes on working people, Starmer announced an increase in employers' national insurance contributions. This sudden about-face has left many questioning Labour's commitment to its core values. The consequences of these contradictions are becoming clear. Recent polls show a sharp decline in public trust in Labour leadership. Voters are increasingly sceptical of the party's ability to deliver on its promises.
And that's the Welsh Government's proposed new post-Brexit system of public payments for farmers.
Paying a lot more for their food, and that's what a lot of people haven't understood yet, and that's what's going to hurt the poorest people in society, is food inflation.
One survey revealed that only 32% of respondents believe Labour has a clear vision for the country's future. But the hits keep coming for Labour. Just as the party tries to regain its footing, Deputy Leader Angela Rayner steps into the spotlight with a series of controversial claims. Rayner has been touting her supposed support from farmers, asserting that her policies have been warmly received in rural communities. However, these statements have been met with fierce criticism and accusations of fabrication. Members of Reform UK have been quick to challenge Rayner's assertions. They argue that her policies, far from supporting farmers, actually threaten their livelihoods. Critics point out that Labour's proposed agricultural reforms could potentially dismantle family farms and fundamentally alter the fabric of rural life in Britain. As Labour struggles to maintain its public image, these internal conflicts and policy contradictions are bubbling to the surface. The party that once prided itself on unity and clear vision now finds itself mired in chaos and confusion. With each passing day, the facade crumbles further, revealing a party at war with itself.
Unbelievable amount of food. We're already on the second lorry that's gone away, and the food is coming from all parts of the country. And
protesters here. Farmers say this is just the start. Next week, they are planning to hold their first ever strike action.
Just when Labour thought it had hit rock bottom, the ground gave way. A respected MP's actions have thrust the party into a crisis that goes beyond mere policy disagreements. Could this be the final straw that breaks Labour's back? The suspension of Mike Amesbury, a Labour MP since 2017, has sent shockwaves through the party. CCTV footage allegedly shows Amesbury punching a man to the ground, an act that's led to his immediate suspension and the withdrawal of the Labour whip. This isn't just a minor scandal. It's a full-blown crisis that threatens to unravel what little unity remains within the party. Labour's official statement attempts to downplay the incident, noting that Amesbury is assisting Cheshire Police with their inquiries. But the gravity of the situation is clear. A 55-year-old man voluntarily interviewed under caution and released pending further inquiries. This isn't going away anytime soon. The incident itself raises troubling questions. Reports suggest Amesbury shouted at the man, "You won't threaten the MP ever again, will you?"
this is just something that we have to do, because only 50 yards down there, the gate's behind Downing Street, and we've got the cenotaph just down.
And I think, we all make mistakes in life, and I think it's time for them to say, you know what, we've cocked this one up a bit and back down. That's my view.
This hints at a confrontation that may have involved provocation. But does that justify the alleged violence? Senior Labour figures describe the footage as very graphic, a telling admission of just how damaging this could be to the party's image. Amesbury's suspension has exposed the fragility of Labour's unity. Here's an MP who served as a shadow minister, now sitting as an independent. It's a stark reminder of the internal divisions plaguing the party. How can Labour claim to be a united front when its own members are embroiled in such controversies? But wait, there's more. Just as Labour grapples with this latest crisis, Andrew Neil drops a bombshell. He's raised suspicions about Labour's plans to sell British assets to foreign interests. Neil doesn't mince words, calling it a potential betrayal of the British people. Is this the final nail in Labour's coffin? These revelations couldn't come at a worse time for Labour. They're already facing accusations of fabricating farmer support, with Reform UK dismissing their claims as blatant lies.
Yeah, it's all about momentum, and we've got to put the message out there to the general public that, if these inheritance tax do come in.
BBC thinks you should be paying for everything. Okay, do you know how many people pay inheritance tax in this country?
It's 4% of estates.
What?
Now, with Amesbury's suspension and Neil's explosive allegations, Labour's credibility is hanging by a thread. As the party scrambles to maintain public trust, one thing is clear: Labour is in deep trouble. Each new revelation seems to expose another layer of dysfunction and contradiction. The question now isn't whether Labour can recover, but how much further they'll fall before hitting rock bottom. Labour's credibility has taken a severe beating. From Keir Starmer's evasive leadership to Angela Rayner's questionable claims about farmer support, the party's facade of unity has crumbled. The suspension of MP Mike Amesbury over alleged violence has only deepened the crisis. And now, Andrew Neil's bombshell about potential plans to sell British assets to foreign interests has left many questioning Labour's commitment to the nation's interests. As Labour struggles, Reform UK is gaining ground.
Rachel Reeves says she brought this in is to stop wealthy people using it as a way
No,
of
that was the only reason she did.
Well, no, the other reason was to...
Well, it's just unreal. We've got 15,000 registered, but we know we're going to get far, far more than that. When you look down there towards Whitehall now...
Recent polls show a significant shift in public opinion. with Reform UK now seen as a viable alternative to Labour. This surge in support comes as trust in Labour continues to decline, reshaping the political landscape. The coming months could see a dramatic realignment of voter allegiances. Will Labour manage to regain public trust, or will Reform UK capitalise on their missteps? As the next election approaches, one question looms large. Are we witnessing the beginning of the end for Labour's political dominance in Britain?